Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And Jai, of course, our auspicious invocation, our Vandana, whatever name you may give to it, but everything is complete when we are remembering our Gurus, the Vaishnavas, Mahaprabhu, Panchatattva Mahamantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So, Om Agyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tuje Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Shri Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. And a little funny thing from this last week, I was just about to say, also it's good for us to chant this mantra pointed out by Gurudev, the shorter one of the two, like he specifically pointed out. The mantra of Bhagavad Bhakti, or the verse, we can say mantra also. Bhagavad Bhaktita Sarvam Ityutsrijya Vidherapi Kainkaryam Krishna Paraika Ashrayatvam Sharanagatihi. A wonderful verse with so much inside of it, as pointed out by Gurudev on a previous back to basics class that we've given. But funny thing happened this week, which I was sort of happy to be associated with in one sense, and that is that we were doing a Zoom to central Ukraine, the Govinda land in central Ukraine, and one of the devotees, Paramananda Prabhu, was there, Nirupama Devinasi. She said, "Oh, I'm an artist," and oh no, it wasn't. It was Alokananda. Is it Alokananda? She said, "I am an artist, and I'm doing illustrations of shlokas in the Prapana Jivanamritam in order to help me remember the shloka." Like if I, because she's an artist, she thinks I do an illustration. Shakira was there, I can see her nodding. And anyway, so this lady devotee, she said, so I've completed so far chapter 1 of Prapana Jivanamritam. Then I just thought, oh, chapter 1, okay. So I wondered how she'd made a painting or a artwork for reminding her of chapter 1, verse 25, that verse we just said, Bhagavad Bhaktita Sarvam. And then she got a sketchbook, brought it, and then she picked up the book and then she showed the picture. And then I'm looking to see, and I was thinking, is that? No, it can't be. Is that me? And then she said, then look again and again. She said, yes, that's you. And I said, oh, Hare Krishna. I thought, well, if I'm remembered for that sloka, then maybe my life is successful, because Gurudev, I mean, really, he wanted us to, at least, as we have read, as we have seen, at least learn one shloka and put it in our heart. Then we will get everything ever given in any scripture about Sharanagati. So that one shloka, very important for us. Jai Krishna Dayal Prabhu, welcome. And Ramananda Prabhu, welcome.
I'm just sorry, a little late.
Okay, Prabhu, when you're Indian, you're Indian. You're born and bred in India.
No, I'm Malecha now. See, I'm worse than Malecha. I've been here 30 years. I used to never be late. See? Always used to be punctual, but now it's just too much.
Okay, I believe you. But if you're from Rome, you're still early by 22 minutes.
No.
Oh, sorry, any Roman.
Thank you, you're very kind.
From our experience, not from the Rome devotees, but the Rome public at least. And Krishna Dayal Prabhu, you see, everybody has a story to tell. Oh, look, he's in the car. Passenger or driver? Driving, watch the road, don't watch us.
Dhanavas Maharaj, I just got a van camper. So I'm in a van, a camping van, like a few days ago.
Oh, okay, well, drive carefully. Don't look at us, look at the road, please.
Now, I parked Maharaj. I'm just right here at the parking lot.
Oh, okay, all is good. And I was just about to say, everyone's got their story in life. And I mean, how they come to devotional service and after they come to devotional service. I mean, everybody's on a journey, believe it or not, you know, from birth all the way through to, oh, what happens at the end? Oh, yes, death. So everyone's got a story. And our Krishna Dayal Prabhu, he has his story also, coming from quite a different background. Am I allowed to say over Zoom which country you're from and how you came? What I can say is this: one of our devotees was on Zoom from a country where they're not meant to be using Zoom, and he said over the Zoom, and then he tried to log in again and he was blocked on Zoom. So we don't want to put anybody in difficulties anyway. Anyhow, for another occasion for Krishna Dayal. And Shail, welcome, you're a friend of our Chintamani, I believe.
Yes, yes.
Are you in a camper also? Or are you in a home?
Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Shail.
You know, funny enough, Maharaj, I do live in a camper, but I'm actually renting a room at a friend's house in Vancouver right now. It's getting
okay.
a little too cold out for the camper.
Yeah. All right. You're in Vancouver. Well done. Beautiful part. Krishna made all the world beautiful, but Vancouver, he gave a little extra beauty art for Vancouver and its area, the local area. All right. So
Yeah,
we have.
very nice.
Yes, Shail, welcome. Yes, Hare Krishna. So we have with us, I mean, really, we've got Paramananda Prabhu, we've got Jivana, we've got Kumkum Devidasi, and Praneshwari, Ramananda Prabhu, who's a young devotee, and all of you. And I don't know how long, Jaidev and Chintamani, you've been around a long time, right? Since you first came to devotion. How many years?
I met Srila Govinda Maharaj in the late 90s. Not sure if you heard me.
And when did you come to Krishna consciousness? When did you first start chanting Hare Krishna and being a good boy?
Through, I'm still not a good boy, but I came to Krishna consciousness through the devotees of Srila Govinda Maharaj in the late 90s. I actually bypassed ISKCON. I bypassed ISKCON completely.
Okay. And Chintamani?
Like 90, 97, 98, I came to Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram.
And do you know how many years ago is 1997?
Not really, but it's I'd have to sit here and do the math. That's not very long, maybe a couple years ago. It was like, you know, brand new. I'm a spring.
I was born in 97.
It's a long, are you born?
Are you serious? No, I actually remember some of the people that come on these Zoom calls. I remember when they were young children.
I think Shail just mentioned he was born in that year.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Just see.
Like you were talking about someone at the last meeting. Who was that? It was the son of someone that I remember from anyways. Yeah, so
maybe.
What was it? Kalachandji. Yeah, he was a little boy. I think when you were mentioning at the last meeting, someone was mentioning him. I think I remembered him as a young child at the ashram there, because his father was at that ashram and mother. Yeah.
Yes. We were remembering similarly, because even though I know him as he's grown up, I still remember him from being a young boy or as being a young boy. I should grow up, shouldn't I? I should grow up and see him as he is. Yes, Chintamani Didi. confess. You're not going to confess how many decades you've been a devotee. I know you're only 21 years old. Okay.
I'm not a devotee. I'm just here pretending and here to listen to you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Well, many things are indispensable in devotional service. And actually, one of the indispensable things is to be with other devotees, to be around devotees, to hear from devotees. And sometimes I really think that where would we be if we don't have the Devotees Association? We can give lip service to devotional service, but to be with the devotees means that we actually, trying to do something, at least following the path of devotion. So I can begin today because this is Zoom, and sometimes it tends to be me talking too much rather than the interaction which is the Zoom gives us. So I have a request to the devotees. Is there something that any of you would like to address or want to have addressed or ask?
I have a question.
Yes.
3 or 4 Zoom meetings ago, you mentioned a difficult seva that you might have for someone. You said, because I asked, do you have any opportunities for actual tangible seva for us? Because it's in tangible seva we can actually progress. And you mentioned, you had alluded to something, maybe some type of, you said it's very difficult, but I might have some difficult seva. And that's been rattling around in my mind since that meeting. Just wondering what that might have been.
Okay, well, there's a good question. And we've been discussing some things here also, not just for the devotees here, but how in this age to adjust and engage in seva. So we've got some thoughts going around, and we'll be very happy actually to hear suggestions from the devotees. But in the meantime, I don't know whether you've corresponded together, but yourselves, and I've forwarded from Praneshwari your messages via Praneshwari to myself, to Chinmoy Dev Prabhu. So let us see how things progress there. And that is responsible seva. And also, Chinmoy Dev Prabhu, I think I mentioned to you yesterday, but I did. I sent to Mahayogi Maharaj also the request that he can check through these things because it is important. And what I'm referring to the others is checking and rechecking the captions on the videos that are being posted. Because we know on the web, people can post anything everywhere, but we need to have some place on the web which you can say it is, these videos, they have accurate transcriptions, they're properly representative, etc. Because now we know that the web and YouTube and whatever other tube people go to, this is the kind of the reference point where the teenagers, the grown-ups, where everybody go to these days. And so almost like the books of our generation, in addition to the books, we have the video with the transcript. So this is responsible seva, but I may have been alluding to something else. I'll get back to you on that.
Maharaj.
Yes.
Can I also mention that Jamuna Priya is doing the audio archive, and now she's like posting something almost every day, but she has over 1,000, easy over 1,000 audio recordings of Gurudev that she is trying to go through. And always, looking for people to help her with that.
Well, number one, I'm very happy to hear that she's posting again. We were, when I was in Thailand, I think Paramanand Prabhu and myself were the greatest fans and supporters of the Absolute Sweetness. But then he got stuck on March the 19th. I know he got stuck on March the 19th. I went back so many times. It was March the 19th for a long, long time. So it does happen that, you kind of stop going to a site when it's not. I mean, I have checked, but not just recently. So first of all, good to know. So thank you for that update, because up until March the 19th, we'd heard everyone and, again and again also that she'd posted over the years. So that's good to know. And also another opportunity. Again, these things, are you meaning by way of transcript, Chinmoy Dev Prabhu? Or
No,
what?
it's just editing the audio.
Okay, well, there we go. Again, it's a responsible service, because editing does mean, taking out the things which really is not for the public. When Gurudev's coughing and struggling and all this in the middle of a talk, it brings pain to the devotees, and I know he does not want that as the published item. What is private is private, but it's a responsible service to do any editing and publishing. So yes, Chinmoy Dev Prabhu. Pen and paper. Hare Krishna. And by the way, on the side of Sevā, I can just let you know, I mean, some very good Chinmoy Dev Prabhu, and maybe with others, I do not know, but he took the responsibility to transfer VHS videotapes to digital. And he's completed the transfer of tapes that came from Australia, that were taken very carefully, delivered from Australia and to California, specifically for him to transfer, and from Ireland, from Pranashish Prabhu in Ireland. So he's completed this Sevā, and we're expecting that there is unique footage there, because each of them, they're taking videos in their places. So many more treasures, and there are other treasures in the world which will come out. So we look forward to these coming to the world too. So just to give some due recognition, and so people know about the Sevā. In India, we, in the East-Agostis in Navadip, then you can say the prime purpose of that was to recognize the Sevā of all the devotees, because we may have there 30 devotees or something, or sometimes more, but I mean, I remember 30 or 40 in Ishtagoshti was quite common, but not everybody knows what everybody else is doing. So somebody may think, oh, I'm the only one that's doing something. But there we begin with giving the recognition for the Sevā that the devotees are doing. And then we'll mention various things. And by the way, then we'd also ask the devotees, what have you seen which needs attention? And in Navadip, or anywhere, I suppose, that when you first arrive somewhere, some things can jump out at you that you don't notice when you live there. When you live somewhere, you don't notice that the paint is peeling, because it gradually happens. And so it's just like, oh yes, that's part of the house. But when you come somewhere, then your first impression can be, and I know this myself, when we come to Navadip, if we've been somewhere for a while and we come back to Navadip, then what's the first impression? Oh, there's a tree growing out of here, this needs repainting. Why doesn't that light work? Oh, yes. Anyway, lots of things. We'd ask the devotees and what they notice, and including completely new devotees who come in, because lots of things, it doesn't take a 24-year-old devotee, a devotee who's been a devotee for 24 years to figure it out. Someone who's come in the door can understand, oh, this needs attention. So anyway, in the Ishtagoshti, it was recognizing primarily, it was there for recognizing the devotees and their Sevā. So to you all, no doubt, each of you have got recognizable devotional activities that you do that should be recognized. Govinda, Govinda. So, pencil, paper. Okay, Sevā, Jaya, Day, and Chinmoy, and Jamuna's audio. Hare Krishna. All right, any question or anything from any quarter?
Maharaj, I would like you to expand a little bit on Sevā. There is a quote. I'm going to put it here on the chat so you can read it. And if you can explain, especially the last part.
Oh, in the chat. Click, 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 click. Okay, so Praneshri Devidasi has written. Oh, so Guru Maharaj has written Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion to Volume 2. Okay, so where's Paramananda Prabhu? Paramananda Prabhu, please give attention because we have Paramananda Prabhu with us and he is very experienced in devotional service and about Sevā. So just when you mention the title Sevā, then we can ask for the contribution today. This is my begging, my begging cloth to Paramananda Prabhu. You can give us some Sevā basics. But here, let's see the question. Sevā, service. So this is Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakha Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj. Sevā, service, should not be merely physical. There is mental sevā, and only responsibility can capture the mind. In responsibility, the mind is compelled to think on the matter. Otherwise, the mind may be free to wander hither and thither, even while the body is apparently engaged. So, engage the mind in deep service, responsible service. Ah, yes, Praneshri did it. Wonderful quote. In one sense, self-explanatory, but yes, can be expanded.
How to engage the mind in deep service? We might think we can do it and we can understand it, but is there something practical that we have to focus on to engage the mind in deep service, in responsible service?
Okay, very good. And this is one of these definite guidances for our day-by-day life. And just before Paramananda answers, and give him also a moment to think about the question, that is something which somehow becomes, we get sort of some clarity or something, as they say. So, but a little clarity this week, like a wave of clarity, and don't worry, it doesn't stay, it goes away again. But the clarity of, we hear many things like this, in an exact example, but we have to do it at every moment. I mean, really, it sounds wonderful and appealing, but there are so many indispensable things that we need to do. We actually have to make part of our life. And it's not only while we're reading, but while we are doing everything in our day. So I know we know these things by words, but the doing part is so important. So Paramananda Prabhu, please help us in this important matter. Humbly, I'm asking to.
Maharaj, I was thinking to humbly refuse, but it wouldn't be proper. It wouldn't be Sevā. So if it's coming from you, then I should accept it as Sevā.
Hare Krishna.
Because really, it's a high subject. I mean, Srila Guru Maharaj, he speaks of Sevā a lot. Srila Gurudev Guru Maharaj. Where are Sevā centered? And one explanation he is giving, that famous shloka, Tad vidhi pranipatana pariprashtina sevaya upadekshanti te jnanina tattva darshana. So Srila Guru Maharaj elaborates on that. So pranipat, pariprashna, and seva. So he says, first we come and submit ourselves at the lotus feet of the spiritual master. Then we're sincerely and with faith inquire from spiritual master. So in a sense that we're not just questioning him, see if he's qualified or see what he has to say about this thing or that thing. No, we have to accept every single word coming from his lotus mouth as reality and act accordingly. So Srila Guru Maharaj, he underlines, he points out that the pariprashna part, to some extent, because really the real connection between Guru, between Vaishnava, is happening through the service. So whatever disciple hears, whatever we hear, must take some kind of form of action. means seva. So we must do something. And like Srila Guru Maharaj again mentioning here, we can engage on a physical level. We can actually do something, but our mind, our heart will be somewhere else. And we can, I mean, I can say so many things about that because this is what I'm mostly doing. Physical engagement because of certain responsibilities. But really, you have to put your heart, you have to put your mind has to be completely occupied. And it's, like Maharaj just said, it can be elaborated to the highest extent. Now we can also say, what about those who actually get Krishna Prema? And then again, Srila Guru Maharaj, he explains that if you acquire Krishna Prema came to you, it doesn't mean that you stop your seva. No, you will hanker for more. Then you will get more Krishna Prema. And when you get more Krishna Prema, you will hanker for more seva. So it's ever increasing. So it's a huge subject, Maharaj. I don't know where to start, and really we can speak about it for a really long time. And I'm always kind of feeling that Zoom, we have to do something really quick, give a quick answer, or hear what other devotees have to say on that subject. But yes, engaging your mind, engaging your heart, engaging your body. And that's how the proper seva comes to us. And again, this is what we're praying for. This is our goal. Every day we're praying for seva. And quite often, like I'm just having one example. I'm not going to name anybody. I'm not going to name a place even, but I was just giving a talk, reading Chaitanya Charitamrita one day in the assembly of the devotees. And we're reading about this subject, the seva subject, how important it is, and how crucial, fundamental it is to do seva, to do something. I mean, you hear so many wonderful things. So as a result, you have to do it. And everybody, yes, they're all agreeing. That's wonderful. Yes, we have to do it. And I remember I finished the talk, and there was one seva that needed to be done right in the temple, right there in front of everybody. And I asked, and by the way, Prabhus, and I was just, incapacitated, like physically incapacitated. I would do it myself, no problem. And I asked, can you please, since we're all here right now together, can you just, do it? It'll take 5 minutes. Immediately, everybody went in different directions, saying, "Oh, I got this thing to do. I have to do that thing, and I have no time. Maybe tomorrow." And I was so surprised. Like, how is that possible? And really, this is also my situation. I'm sometimes catching myself thinking that way. We've been praying, we've been hopping, we've been aspiring for seva, and seva comes in front of us, and what we do, we turn our backs because, again, you have to put your heart into it. You have to put your mind into it. And as we know, the mind will follow the heart, and the body will follow naturally. Anyhow, my contribution, Maharaj.
And Jivanadidi, I was, no, not anything tricky, something simply from your life. What seva have you been given by Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj or Gurudev that you found was like automatically you became so absorbed in that from any of our guardians? What seva have you been given in practical life? And
I would say in my practical life, really my seva comes from the devotees that are around me. It came so much from Yudhamani Prabhu, from Sanatani, from Sureshwari. When they need things and they need things done, I try to be someone that's easy for them to just ask. Because like Paramananda Prabhu was saying, our tendency is like we're thinking, oh yeah, we want to do seva. Then somebody asks us to do something, we're like, oh, I didn't really want to do that one. But so with some of the devotees that you're around, like you're saying, when you're with association, you sort of really don't have to think so much. You just can do it. And then you realize when you're on your own that, wow, it's like I fell out of the airplane. I just feel like I'm just stuck now. But when you're with the devotees, automatically so many things are happening. So things like cooking and washing pots and serving out prasadam, those things naturally happen very quickly and easily around the devotees. Some people have talent. I don't have any talent, but a lot of people have talent, and they can, like Sharanagi, she can sew, and other people can do so much, I don't know, build things and fix things and give amazing classes and be kind to the devotees and counsel them for different ways. So I just try to tag along with somebody.
That sounds like good advice. Let's tag along with the Vaishnava's bodies. the Vaishnavas. And of course, Yudamanya Prabhu, Jivana's husband, was Gurudev's repeated example. So many times we heard him say that Yudamanya Prabhu Seva Vikram. That's how Gurudev liked him to be properly addressed. Yudamanyu Prabhu Seva Vikram, along with his title. That Gurudev gave him as the example, that this is the mood of the disciple to the spiritual master. The disciple asks, what do you want from me? Without any assertion, I want to do this or this or this, my idea is this. But what do you want me to do? And Yudamanyu Prabhu, he would come explain a situation to Gurudev and then ask Gurudev, what do you want me to do? And Gurudev even trying to get some idea of, like, does he prefer this or that? But Yudamanyu Prabhu not revealing anything of his preference, because really he didn't have any preference. What Gurudev will say, do this, do that. And maybe two quite different things. A time when he got the lecturing post in Thailand, and then the possibility to have the lecturing post in the university in China, and all these different things. And before that, so many things, from South Africa to California to heading up the San Jose temple. So this idea, service is what is, especially it is what is wanted from us from above. And then all kinds of different special cases, you can say, special situations must come up. So seeing Jivana, we are also reminded of Yudamanyu Prabhu, who actually sacrificed so much all the way through. And somebody who has done very responsible service, and mind must have been fully engaged there, is Chinmoydev Prabhu with Gurudev. Gurudev in the difficult time means of Gurudev's difficult health, and Chinmoydev doing many things. We can ask you, Chinmoydev, can you think of a space of time when you never forgot Krishna and always remembered him? A space of time when you never forgot what's been given to you, and there's like no thought came from outside.
I mean, my mind is very powerful, and Maya has much attraction, or Maya has much control over my mind. So I can't really say. I mean, I remember the point where Gurudev stole my heart, and I committed to serve him forever. But other than that, it's the way I understand it. And I heard Gurudev mention this, is that, you know, the mind is kind of like an instrument, and you just got to train it and train it and train it and train it again with your sadhana, and always, you know, try to think about your service. And even if your mind starts to wander, go back to it. And a very good example of someone who loves service is Bimala Didi. I mean, she is quite amazing. Many times I'll see like dishes, for example, in the kitchen, and I'll be like, I'm not doing that. But Bimala, you engage her in service and she is so happy. I mean, that really is the proper mood. When I see the dishes there, I should be, oh, look at this service that is there for me. I should be happy that I'm doing this for the Lord. That should be our mentality. And that just takes practice to put your mind into that viewpoint, to get your mind to continuously think about, this is service for the Lord. This is something transcendental. This is something for your benefit, and not to be swayed by your mind saying, yes, but I have to go watch a YouTube video.
Hare Krishna. A very important YouTube video, no doubt. Or am I on mute? No, I'm not on mute. You can hear me. You can hear my
Yes.
thinking.
I can hear you. Yes, Maharaj. You can hear
You
you.
can hear my thinking. But Chinmayadev Prabhu, you were with Gurudev during those times of when we are looking after his health. I mean, that was very intense. And there you see also the devotees not even thinking, I'm doing seva. The devotees are doing what's necessary. And in the personal service of Gurudev during those difficult days of his health, I mean, we saw Chinmayadev Prabhu and Jamuna Priya, as we just heard about just now, and others who were attending to Gurudev's, like you can say, physical well-being, well, his well-being. And we saw how it's not thinking, oh, I'm doing service, I'm not in Maya. It's just, I'm doing what is needed. And so we must also not think, oh, always that I have to be consciously thinking, oh, this is seva, is it coming under Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, like the 9 processes of devotional service. But what is needed, what is required, sometimes it may be an instruction, but very often it is just seeing what needs to be done and doing it, as in the case of taking care of Gurudev's bodily well-being, carrying him in the wheelchair, and just being there with the ears propped up for Gurudev to say something. Oh, I need this, a glass of water, garam jal, whatever it may be. Automatic service. But this probably comes after the stage Chinmayadev Prabhu pointed out. Said, well, I remember when Gurudev stole my heart. It is good to remember those days, indeed. Sometimes, not to say I sit in meditation, but as the mind goes to places, I mean, really, sometimes I remember my obeisances to Guru Maharaj, like in front of Guru Maharaj, my obeisances to Gurudev in front of Gurudev, those like some special days, some special times when, really you're trying to just give yourself, maybe only a split second in our life, maybe, but something we need to remember, and remember that that's the ideal, or even that's a hint of the ideal that we should be in 24 hours a day of our life. And seva, we got many things to help us in this modern age, but whether we use it rightly or not, this is the other matter. Hare Krishna. Praneshwari. Oh, Ramananda Prabhu, you're unmuting your microphone.
Can I add something? Can I say something?
Yes, I see you want to. Please add.
Yeah. No, I was lucky. Actually, Gurudev came to this house and he blessed us. And I had also privilege to serve Gurudev many years, actually. Even in Sokhel, also in Navdeep, also I got to cook for Gurudev. So he told many times, actually, Gurudev, service should be under the guidance of a devotee, under the guidance of a Vaishnava. Especially in West, everybody want to do, I want to do this, I want to do that. Like Paramananda Prabhu said, see, when you ask, they run away. And I've seen many times. But I was lucky to have a good guardian, Jivanand Didi, Ashram Maharaj. They used to come and help me when I was Brahmachari in 13th. They used to come and help for hours and hours. And I cooked for 10 years in San Jose, Sokhel. I was lucky. I didn't know what I was doing, but Gurudev gave me the mercy, Guru Maharaj. Also, I was listening Param Guru Maharaj lecture. He said, Krishna interest, we have to do Krishna's interest. Krishna and his own, his devotees. So that's what I just wanted to make point. I've been listening Guru Maharaj lecture, so amazing. We are all so blessed. It's amazing Guru. We have best guardian, best of the best.
Jai.
Thank you.
Okay, Ramananda Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Govinda, Govinda. Service, service, service.
Maharaj.
Yes.
I heard Asha Maharaj's name. And when we speak of service, it's impossible not to remember him. on too many occasions. I think while he's breathing, he's doing seva. We all know that. But few wonderful stories coming to mind. I remember when I was coming to the mat, I think it was the second day in the mat. And as you know, I'm coming from ISKCON. You know how the positions of the spiritual master, the gurus, the sannyasis in ISKCON. And it was the second day, and I'm entering the mat in the morning, and it was just after the morning program. And there's a pile of bricks right in front of the gate. And something was going on, some kind of repair was happening. And there is Asha Maharaj, who tucked his dhoti, and he was just moving bricks. And it wasn't a show or anything like that. He was just passing by. He saw the necessity. I said, Maharaj, why are you doing that? I can help. He said, no. I just saw nobody is here, and we need to do that. And I started doing that. And he was very shy that he got noticed. So another day, I was in a guest house near Govindakund, and everybody was sleeping. It was a siesta time. It's just my nature that I cannot sleep. So I was chanting. And I'm seeing Ashu Maharaj was walking in a gamcha and carrying a bucket and something else, a mop maybe. And I was thinking, hey, well, he looks like he's going to have a bath in Govindakund. Why is he carrying a bucket and a mop? And then there was a public toilet, as you know. So he was walking and he was looking behind, making sure that no one is seeing him. Then he sneaked into that toilet and he spent quite a time. Then he came out, he opened the door, he looked at nobody is looking. Very quickly he came out and he just walked away. So I went down just to check what he was doing. The toilet was spotless clean, Maharaj. And so many things you can say, okay, about Ashu Maharaj and other devotees, no doubt. And by the grace of Srila Gurudev, we have wonderful servitors.
And who comes to mind there is also our Siddhanti Maharaj. He would clean all the toilets in the whole of in all the buildings in Chaitanya Saraswat Math. That's a lot of toilets. And he did it like with heart and dedication, because he couldn't stand it. I mean, the devotees, where the devotees are, should be the cleanest of the clean. But some nature in India doesn't like that the toilets are clean. What is it about the toilets? And one day in Dum Dum Park, Gurudev mentioned about this thing of the toilets. And I mean, an unbelievable thing happened, because he's in Dum Dum Park in the old veranda. And I mean, the main veranda, actually, the old veranda. But Gurudev was making some comments almost like this about, why can't the devotees keep the bathrooms clean? I mean, a very simple thing. He said, my bathroom is always clean. After we use it, make sure it is clean. They said, you can see it is spotless. And then after Gurudev spoke all this, and the devotees, they started going to say, oh, you can say we can see your bathroom. I couldn't believe that they kind of came to march into Gurudev's bathroom to see. I mean, really, that was one of those, like, for me, like, strangest things going to go. But Gurudev, like, so, just his natural openness, you know, is going to say, you can see my bathroom. And then after this, then the devotees want to see his bathroom. Hare Krishna. And of course it was.
Maharaj, we also happen to be very simple-hearted devotees.
I think this is my fault. Maybe I was, on that occasion, too complicated. And the devotee did ask, aren't you going to see? I said, no. Honestly, that's good, but that's Gurudev in the real simple-hearted way, you know, just simply saying, yeah, you can see my bathroom. And he wasn't fazed, but he did smile. He did smile. Oh, look at that. They're all going in to see my bathroom. Hare Krishna.
Gurudev was testing, I think. It was just.
Govinda, Govinda. And by the way, when Paramananda was speaking just now, I thought he was going to say, oh, I came from, you know, previous background and where it's so difficult to get to see the Guru, where, you know, really, you've got to be in the inner circle or make an appointment or something like this. And even then, not even maybe make an appointment, you just can't, kind of thing. But coming to Gurudev and coming to Guru Maharaj, then how accessible they were. Yes, of course, they had their own time. I mean, and even their own time, they're with devotees, but it is not the time we're going to get questions and have to deal with this kind of matter. They would have their own time, as you can say, but accessible, not like aloof to the devotees, but very much wanting to do the best for the devotees. What's the best for the devotees? They're giving naturally their time with the devotees. And so Guru Maharaj, accessible, especially well, always, but especially the earlier time before his health became also very difficult. And Gurudev also, the later time, difficult for his health. So we tried to limit his stress, but still Gurudev giving time all the way through, Guru Maharaj giving time all the way through, and accessible to the devotees. Hare Krishna. And who was it? It was Chaitanya Moy Devidasi, who in a Zoom, it wouldn't have been this back to basic Zoom, but how devotees express things. And she expressed about Gurudev. She said, I know that I know that so many devotees were so dear, like personally dear to Gurudev, but my impression, practically from the beginning with Gurudev, is that I am the most dear to him. This was how Gurudev dealt with not dealt with, it was his relationship with the devotees, that every devotee is dear and he cares for everybody. And Chaitanya Moy Devirasi, she said that, what did she say? She said, I know I'm not a gopi. I know this. I know who we are. But Gurudev treated us and made me, she said, I'm saying from myself, made me feel like I was his dearmost devotee. But I know so many were more dear. And she said this was some realization that came to me, how Gurudev gives himself to all of the devotees. And not giving like part of himself, he's giving himself fully. So this was something very special from like realized, felt like this.
She gave the story, Maharaj, how the gopis were dancing during the Rasa dance with Krishna, and every gopi thought that Krishna is only dancing with me. I think that was the parallel story that she gave.
Right, and then she quickly said, I know I'm not a gopi, so the people don't start thinking, oh, now she's thinking that she's a gopi. Right. Hare Krishna. So I thought this was perhaps where you were going with that. And it is a fact that Guru Maharaj, Guru Maharaj was accessible, and we hear about the earlier days, how Guru Maharaj was putting up the fencing around the temple. And then somebody came to see him, and he was putting up the fencing, and they said, oh, is this the Chaitanya Saraswat Mat? Is Sridhar Maharaj here? And then Guru Maharaj saying, yes. Oh, can I see him? Oh, yes. You wait, you go there, you sit down, you wait 10 minutes or something, or 15 minutes, and you'll be able to meet. So he went, sat down, and then Guru Maharaj obviously went another way around and cleaned up a little bit perhaps, and then Guru Maharaj, he after 10 or 15 minutes met with that gentleman, and he said, oh, you are Sridhar Maharaj. And he was very impressed at Guru Maharaj putting in the posts for the fence around the compound of Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, and he's the Acharya of the temple, the renowned Sridhar Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Yes, so we come to the spiritual master with humility with sincere inquiry and offering of seva. And seva, it is not a business, and seva is not a business transaction. It is just doing, and not for anything, not for getting prominence in the eye of the guru, or not for any other thing, but for doing. Hare Krishna. And how to capture the mind? One way is put the right, oh, it's all tangled up. I was going to show the headphones. One way is to put the right soundtrack on your headphones when you're driving the car. One way is to put the right soundtrack on the headphones when you're doing anything else. And some of these, I mean, everything, but some of these talks and everything, they take our attention so much that we forget what we're doing almost, but we should. If we're washing the pots, then we can do it. If we're doing something responsible, then that is also responsible to wash the pots. But what I mean is, you know, we should try to give our attention to what we hear and keep the vibration around us as auspicious as possible. And I did just look up. We were reading some very sweet part, and I couldn't quite find the quote, the exact quotation, but Guru Maharaj was in one part just saying very sweetly and nicely about Vrindavan, about the nature of everybody in Vrindavan, about how that is their whole life and soul, and then all these sweet things, and then Guru Maharaj said to us, to the devotees who were sitting in front of him, and Guru Maharaj, he said, so we must forcefully keep our mind within this cage, within this, maybe he didn't say cage, but within that, there is one expression. Anyway, within this compound, we must forcefully, means our mind, we know, is trying to forcefully escape from remembering Krishna and look for some, tantalizing objects of the senses of this world, by sight, by touch, by all of the different senses, taste and everything. We're looking for other things. But we must forcefully bring our mind. We are in the plane, the area where our mind itself is basically out of control. So Guru Maharaj also, he's not just giving us all the sweet things and saying, oh, and just chant Hare Krishna, you will automatically flow there. But he's also indicating we have to give attention to our journey, our attention to controlling our mind. So when we are doing our seva, we should always try to bring our thoughts as well as our activities into what we're doing. And it's a daily practice. It's a daily meditation in the sense of what we are doing service-wise, what we are doing in the regular world needs to be Krishna conscious, Krishna centered. And then step by step by step. So it is a lifetime of practice, just as humility, tolerance, giving honor to others, not wanting honor for ourselves. It's a lifetime of practice. Surrender is a lifetime of practice. But going in the right direction, if we are going in the right direction, the devotees are not fearful of plague and atom bombs or whatever it is. Without those things, even the earth, we know, has earthquakes, landslides, volcanoes, hurricanes, anything can happen. We were in Mexico, the last time I was in Mexico, in Tijuana, we went to a university, and full university lecture hall. I mean, I was surprised. We had so many students there to try and convince them that Krishna consciousness is good for them. Anyway, we went there, but on the way there, we're driving, and it's the freeway, like it's a Mexican freeway. It's not quite like an American freeway, but anyway, it's a freeway. And on the opposite direction. So cars going this way, there's a barrier, cars are coming the other way. You know what a freeway is. You all know what a motor car is. Anyhow, but coming in the other direction, there was a landslide. And it wasn't even a big one, but like some good sized rocks came down the other side, and we saw it all in front of us. And I mean, thankfully, we didn't see anybody getting, well, obviously, not obviously hurt in it, but if they weren't wearing seat belts, maybe somebody got hurt. But just from nowhere, you can say, on a calm day, plain day, then boulders were coming off the mountain, and some cars did hit them. But it just was a reminder that anything can happen at any moment. So now when you drive along a country road and you see the sign, danger falling rocks, then it's a reminder of the temporariness of our life. They're devotional signs to remind us, keep us focused on whatever we're doing, and remind ourselves we are driving there for Sevā, aren't we? And in our motorcycling days, then in our devotional motorcycling days, I mean, really, I was conscious only to use the motorcycle for Sevā and not for anything else. Because I just thought, you know, knowing me, if I use the motorbike for anything else, to go to the beach for, you know, to go to the beach to have a swim or something, which isn't directly Sevā, I thought, oh no. If I use it for anything else,
knowing you, we know that will never happen.
But it came in my mind. I can go to the beach, because when we're in Malaysia, the temple was just a few kilometers from the beautiful beaches, but only went to the beach with the devotees. And even then, by the way, even then, one day I got heavily sliced, repeatedly sliced by a jellyfish, like razor blade, looking like razor blade cuts, because I went to the beach with the youngsters. Myself and another devotee, we went with a group of the youngsters for going down there. We chanting Hare Krishna on the beach, but we know that there are jellyfish in those waters. They're tropical hot waters. So we know there's some risk is there, I suppose. And so we're responsible for the children. But we went in there, and of course, everybody likes to go to swim. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, we, you know, the children we should protect, shouldn't let them in. But anyway, it seemed too cruel. So anyway, we went into the water, and anyway, I'm the one who got sliced up by the jellyfish. And I can tell you, in the salt water, it stings like crazy. So I was getting whipped by Krishna through the jellyfish, and we got all the kids out. Nobody else was hurt, and I learned my lesson. Thank you, Krishna. Very kind of you. And I tried not to let the children know, the children and youth know that I'd been slashed up. So I kind of came out, and then I put on my t-shirt straight away, put on some t-shirt or kurta straight away so that they can't see. And that stung like anything. And we're trying to pretend that, oh, there's no pain. So also many lessons in one activity. You're not your body, okay? You think you're not your body? Try this one. All right. Sevā, Sevā, Sevā. Let us have this as a theme maybe for today, or service. You're very good, Pranashri, at giving a summary of what we talk about, but as a title form, you can come up with something. Responsible Sevā of the mind. Oh, and I didn't really properly answer that at all too. When we have to do something, when that's our wonderful opportunity, we do it. Then everything else just falls away. Even in the material world, when you're given a project to do, you don't think of anything else. We have a devotee here who comes in Milan. She comes from Milan. She was here this last weekend. And she sees the focus of the people who run the business. She's in one of the big companies. And those who are heading up those companies, they are fully dedicated to what they're doing, not thinking about anything else practically. We need to be like this in our devotional life. It's not so much what we do, it's the consciousness, and maybe someone's driving and doing so many things, apparently the same thing, but we need to be in the devotional side.
And Maharaj, the two things come to mind. Sometimes we're unable to do physical seva. It also happens. It's not just that we're unable to do mind or dedicate our mind and heart to that. And there are two wonderful examples about that. One is Vasudev in the prison of Kamsa. When Krishna appears, he's so happy that he distributes so many charities to the Brahmanas, but he does it in his mind because he is unable to do it physically. Of course, later he does it physically again when he is out of the prison. And the second example is in Chaitanya Charitamrita when Nrisimhananda Brahmachari, he is hankering for Mahaprabhu's company. But he is unable to do it because Mahaprabhu is not there. He is still on the way. So what he does, he goes into this, we can say, trance. He actually goes where Mahaprabhu is, and he decorates the road that Mahaprabhu is traveling on, putting beautiful ponds, beautiful flower trees. The road is made of gems, making it perfect, Galoka-like or Vaikuntha-like, we can say. So it is also possible. So if we are unable to do our physical seva, we can engage our mind in that kind of seva.
And what is the village that he decorated it to?
It's Kanai Natashala. That's where Mahaprabhu went, and he stopped, and then he changed his mind, and then he went back. And then he couldn't. Nrisimhananda, he was trying to go further from Kanai Natashala, but he couldn't. Then he came out from his trance and he declared that Mahaprabhu will not go to Vrindavan this time. And then everybody said, how do you know? Because, it's hard to believe such things. He said, you will see. You will see. Wait and see.
All right. Wonderful. So anyhow, on this note, Devapriya Devirasi has joined us too. Devapriya Didi, also in San Jose, California.
Dandavat, Maharaj.
Dandavat. Jai
Maharaj,
Gurudev.
I wanted just to tell you, Seva in Serbian language means lighting.
Means what?
Seva, same spelling and same pronunciation, means lighting in Serbian.
Oh.
Lighting.
Lighting, like lighting, a storm.
Lighting.
Like a storm, thunder. Lighting.
Very good. Seva is lighting. Very good.
Not lightning, Maharaj, like in a storm. Like in a
Thunder
storm.
and lightning.
Oh, thunder and lightning.
Thunder and lightning.
Or lighting. This?
As a thunder. Thunder lightning.
Thunder and lightning. Okay.
Lightning, yeah.
Okay, the lightning. And Krishna's clothing is sometimes, that the color of his cloth is sometimes described like lightning color. So,
And Devapriya also can do service like lightning, Maharaj.
She's a steady
She knows about
for unlimited number of
yes.
years. Really?
And never wants any credit. Very much backwards pushing in
Guys,
that regard.
be quiet. You may be struck with lightning.
You want to be struck by that kind of lightning. The Seva lightning.
Yeah, let us be struck by Seva. Hare Krishna. One of our devotee family, he has this expression, and do good and don't get caught. Try to do good and don't get caught. That's a nice thing too. And he follows that too. And then sometimes he gets caught. All right, dear devotees, we've sort of had a chat away, been chatting away today. And Chael, good to have you with us. I don't know how much you understand about all our crazy talks. Maybe sound very crazy to you, but we're from
No,
Gurudev's family.
I can follow quite okay. It doesn't sound much crazier than some of the other stuff I've heard.
Okay, that's a good thing. And contribution of all of you are all appreciated. And Krishna Dayal in his new camper van, may it serve well in service. You have to try to find some way to utilize it. All right. Jai to our Guru Varga, Jai to particularly our direct guardians, Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rockok Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Om Vishnupad Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai, and of course Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, our Rupa Nuga Guru Varga ki Jai, and our present day Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda ki Jai, and to all of the devotees present and worldwide ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Dandavat
Hari Hari Bol. Jai Gurudev.
Sindhuviya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Dandavat.
Hari Hari Bol.
What did you say, Dayal?
I said Hari Hari Bol. I'm in a fire right now in these days, Maharaj. I've been chanting. I've been doing I'm doing really good these days. I'm doing it.
Okay, you're doing it. This is what we need to do. So with your, helped by your enthusiasm, we'll also try to do it.
I'm back online.
Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudana Maharaj ki
Jai.
Time to go.
Thank you, Maharaj.